at last. Unshackle your life spirit, fly away far from the past. She's like a lost tower, growing up through a crack in the bustling sidewalk, moving like a river so sad. So hey, where we going? Tell me where we've gone. Was there love and fury, energy and passion? So f*** your rules, man. You step up, you go down fast. I've got to release all the shit that has made up my past. So go, paint your face and proclaim thy warrior soul. 'Cause life is a brutal fight until we show a shade of timelessness, for we are all distinct and awaiting our transcendental release. So f*** your rules, man. You step up, you go down fast. I've got to release all the shit that has made up my past. So go let your soul dance, baby. Time to free yourself at last. Unshackle your life spirit, fly away far from the past. 'Cause it's
Look at this here. Look at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's Tuesday here on SCOREONAIRCOM, and we don't know what it is.
What you gonna do, brother?
We can't really explain it. We can't really tell you what it is.
Watch it. He looks fired up here. This is gonna be fun to watch.
All we know, it's Loganity. And it starts now.
Got him up in her hand. Come on. Oh no, that glass table. Think about what the damage the glass can do. Oh my God. They just crushed it right through the glass. 1, 2, 3.
And welcome to another. Whoa, that's some technical difficulties back there.
I'm glad I don't have headphones on right now.
That was big time hurt. But welcome to another episode of Loganity. That's right. We are always presented by. Well, who are we presented by? Hold on here.
Mojo Sports Gear.
Who's that? One more time.
Mojo Sports Gear.
Styles. One more time.
It's Mojo Sports Gear.
Hambino, welcome. And who are we presented by?
It's Mojo Sports Gear.
I'll be doggone Mojo Sports Gear.
I wish McCarthy would stop smiling like that. Like,
right? I had a good day, even though I was busy all day. I haven't been able to turn it off all day.
It's great to have the king of the Jericho-holics, the Sultan of Styles himself,
building, man.
and Hambino. Little Hambanity action has come to Loganity.
We got a little bit going on today.
Absolutely. This is going to be a big time show presented by one more time.
Mojo Sports Gear.
Thank you. All right, we got to kick it off with some breaking news. Just broke. I'm talking about it's not even on my notes. Robert Roode isn't so glorious today. He just got popped like 10 minutes ago for violating WWE's wellness policy, which means he took something he shouldn't have, folks. And so now he'll be suspended for 30 days. Jason, give me your thoughts on that breaking news, because I know you're prepared.
Wow, that's super breaking, because I had no idea. Yeah, because I've been at work all day. Dang, man. What? Wow. I didn't see that coming.
Did they say what it was yet?
No, they didn't reveal the substance yet. But given that it's a wellness policy, and again, purely speculating here, please don't sue me. HGH is the most likely, because that's who most people get popped for.
That's normally what they do get popped for over in the big old E.
So that's what I would consider. So that now is going to free up one Dolph Ziggler. What do you think? How do you think that's going to change, Jason, what they do with Dolph Ziggler?
I think he's going to get a little more lost in the shuffle at this point, depending on how long this tag team was supposed to go on. If it was supposed to go on through WrestleMania, now they have nothing for Dolph Ziggler, and it's already December. Can they just toss him in? We could have, Money in the Bank, and he can be in that. He'll be in the Rumble, of course, but Kind of like I said, it depends how long this tag team was supposed to last. They might have nothing for him.
Can he really afford to be more lost in the shuffle than he already is? I mean, he is more lost. He is more lost than a needle in a haystack. You can't get more lost because let's not forget Dolph Ziggler, Jason. He came back, and remember, it should have been me. Remember that?
Yeah.
You know, it should have been me.
Oh, by the gods, do I remember that?
It should be me. I mean, he looked like all of us in high school with a crush, and then she says she's not interested in a relationship. 2 weeks later, she's with this other guy. I'm not bitter or anything, and so it was. You know, I enjoyed that because obviously he was going right in with a view to Kofi Kingston, and I thought that's a good place for him, upper mid card. Now he's just Dolph's lackey, and he's with Corbin, and I hope this frees Dolph up to just be solo, because even if he's not going to be put over, he's arguably the best in-ring performer in the company. Styles, any thoughts on the not-so-glorious drug test result?
I just feel as if, it's not necessarily a big surprise. Things happen. You never know. It's not necessarily saying that he did, drugs off the street,
right,
and that's why he got popped. Things like this happen in that type of company. So
absolutely,
it's the business, man.
It's not the end of the world. Randy Orton has been popped twice. Jeff Hardy's been popped twice for it. Look, it's not the end of the world, but disappointing nonetheless, especially when they were getting a semi-push. But anyway, on to more positive news, on to much bigger news in my world anyway. Yesterday, out of nowhere, literally, and I'm not even talking about Randy Orton here, the two first inductees of the class of 2020 W Hall of Fame were announced. The first one being Batista, and then the second one being 4 members of the NWO. Now, Batista, we can say a little soon, a little rush, because suddenly he's a movie star and he happened to come back, and so I get that. The NWO, the 4 members, that's right, the 4 members that are going in are, of course, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the Immortal, who I happen to be repping today. That's not a plug or anything. Big Sexy Kevin Nash, old Big Daddy Cool Diesel, and Razor Ramon, a.k.a. Chico Scott Hall. And then here's the head scratcher, ladies and gentlemen. The 4th member is not Bischoff, it's not Steiner, it's not Buff the Stuff. It's Sean Waltman, a.k.a. X-Pac, who will now become a 2-time Hall of Famer, when I'm going to make a great argument that he doesn't even deserve one of those.
I didn't even know he was in the NWO.
Yeah, there we go.
There it is. That's kind of the point. Yeah.
And Hambino, you're a 90s guy.
Right.
So, I mean, isn't it just so exactly, and you're someone that is a former viewer of wrestling regularly.
Excuse me, guys.
That's all right. I know. The fact that Sean Waltman's going in is just that upsetting that your respiratory system can't handle it.
No way.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, that was a good way to put it over. The coughing over.
Look, if there was going to be a 4th man to go in the NWO with the OG NWO, it had to be Bischoff. No one else made a big impact. Of course, Bischoff's not going in the Hall of Fame.
I would throw a name out there.
Go ahead.
And only because I know he did a lot of the smaller events as well as the main events. Yeah, the Disciple and Vincent.
Okay,
Both of them were members of the NWO, and they arguably did more work by going to all the other shows while also being there for the main shows. Maybe not wrestling in the main shows, but
you can make an argument. Now, Vincent, Virgil, Soul Train Jones happens to be my least favorite member of the NWO. If you need a little refreshment here, I gotta find. I'm not.
You didn't hand him the big yellow 5, did you?
I'm not gonna plug that. I apologize.
He's gonna get some water.
That's all right. Look,
don't forget Batista's going with him, guys.
This is live in the living color, people. Look, we do it live here. This is the show where we're so untouchable, but we're forcing you to fill us. See what I did there?
I like that one.
No, that was too sweet, dude.
And you can't brush us off like Colgate. Let me tell you something. We are it. This is Loganity. This is presented by Mojo Sports Gear. Who?
Mojo Sports Gear.
Mojo Sports Gear. And we've got Mojo and we got Sports Gear. Anyway, look. It's about time Hollywood was a 2-time Hall of Famer. Personally, I'd give him a ring every year because no one has contributed more to the wrestling business than the Immortal, Hollywood, the biggest icon in wrestling. And here's something I find funny, boys. Here's something I find just humorous. Look,
What is wrong with this guy?
It bothered me.
He's having a great
was
day.
Going that way.
He's having a great day. You know what?
Look, OCD is a serious issue. We talked about that. Let's not even joke.
I blame a former employer for
Guys,
bless it.
Here's the thing.
bless his little heart, man.
Here's the thing. Number one, Hollywood Hogan deserves a Hall of Fame ring every single year. You want to know why? Because he has done more for the business than most people have ever thought about. Now, I know the scandals are high. Yes, there's been a lot of scandals about Hollywood. And here's the kicker. This Hall of Fame induction is glorifying those years. You know, the I politicked my way to the front years of one Hollywood Hogan. Oh, you don't necessarily need the belt at this stage of your career, but that doesn't work for me, brother. We're going to drop the leg.
No, we're just
on
going
him.
to drop the leg. 1, 2,
drop the
3.
leg.
1, 2, 3. Drop the leg. 1, 2, 3.
Because look, that picture right there that we have on there, that sums up one Terry Bollea, a.k.a. Hollywood Hulk Hogan, more than we ever could. Does he believe he's the biggest icon of wrestling? Yeah, it was in his theme song for years in WCW. So it is very fitting to me that for all their scandals, the WWE Hall of Fame is about to get a lethal dose of poison. The WWE Hall of Fame is about to get a lethal dose of poison because they have been, again, on their own, they're Hall of Famers. But the NWO has been credited and bastardized for killing companies. Their ego has run rampant. If Hogan didn't like something, he did the old, that doesn't work for me, brother. And now, because of the worst parts of Hulk Hogan, the worst parts of Kevin Nash, the worst parts of Scott Hall, those worst parts are getting a Hall of Fame induction. What are your thoughts, Jason? What are your thoughts, Styles, about the NWO and Batista's going into?
Yeah, also Batista's going to be there too as well. I mean, there was Evolution. Batista was there for that as well. I just kind of want to touch back on something that you said earlier as far as Sean Waltman. I mean, I guess he deserves it, but I don't know if he really deserves it for being a part of the NWO. You know what I mean? Like, he should just be in there for DX. He did his little DX thing. That was sweet. I don't see him as a major factor part of the NWO. I just don't see it. I don't even recall. I don't really recall.
When you say NWO, it takes a while for the name X-Pac.
You don't just think X-Pac. You know, that's
if I remember correctly, wasn't it red and black by the time X-Pac finally joined the NWO? That's like 3 years down the line. Why is Sean Waltman? I'll tell you why Sean Waltman got into this.
Okay.
Nepotism.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hunter, but it's nepotism, buddy. He deserved it for DX. He didn't start the NWO. He didn't keep it going on his own because those three left. They just throw him in there, and it's egregious.
I mean, you look out for your friends. You look out for your friends. That's basically how it goes. They're friends. We're friends. We look out for each other.
But Styles, no disrespect here, but you can say look out for your friends. Well, I got news for you. He's already got one Hall of Fame ring too many. How many does he need? Because again, when you think DX, you don't really think X-Pac.
I do. When I think DX, I mean, it's not the first one that comes to my mind.
Oh, listen to you.
But when I think DX, I do think of 1, 2, 3 Kid X-Pac doing the crotch chop. Third one is the big one with the flare. So in a sense, no pun intended, Charlotte wasn't even a thing yet, but he probably knew to whatever.
I got you.
PG-13.
16 times.
Right. You know what I mean? But when I think DX, I do necessarily think of X-Pac after Triple H and Shawn Michaels. But I do think of X-Pac.
It's the third name on the list to me.
Yep, and that's because not only he got bigger than Road Dogg and Billy. I thought he also held everything together when Shawn was hurt and Hunter. Every time those two or both of them were gone, Shawn was there to keep the storylines moving.
Don't let him in, guys. What do you have to?
Yes, sir. I can tell he is chomping at the bit over there.
Yeah.
For the love of Mike, what Sean Waltman is best known for is a tape with China and Go Away Heat. Those are the two best things he's known for.
I fully disagree with that.
Well, that's all right.
This is when I grew up. I was watching the Attitude Era and DX and all that. X-Pac was to me like the next biggest name behind Billy Gunn and Jesse James. Another thing at that point, music was such a major part. Like I remember searching for WWE The Music Volume 3 specifically because I loved X-Pac's music. Like he was like. He was like the lonely guy, so I connected with him, and X-Pac to me is the third biggest member of DS behind, obviously.
I wouldn't necessarily say third biggest. He's definitely not bigger than Billy Gunn in my personal opinion.
I would put both the New Age Outlaws in front of him for DX, and then that's when I would go X-Pac for DX. But we're getting way off because it's not about DX. That's a valid point. Hollywood would be ashamed of me. It's about the NWO, and of course the leader of the NWO is the immortal Hulk Hogan. But nonetheless, I digress. Okay, we can agree to disagree on whether he deserves one in DX, fine, but there is no way, not for the love of humanity. I mean, a blindfolded blind man would be like, why in the world is X-Pac going in? Why in the world is he going in with the OG3? First of all, it ought to just be the OG3. They completely revolutionized the business because without them, there likely is no Monday Night Wars. Because you know what people talked about when they got to the WCW side of things? They went Sting, NWO, Ric Flair. That was it.
There's one more name in there.
Well, please say the name.
Goldberg.
Okay, yeah.
Goldberg was okay.
Goldberg and WCW. And remember, this is when I grew up. I'm not sure what you guys' ages are. I know you're a little younger.
I'm right about there with you.
Yeah, like when I grew up, Goldberg took over wrestling on his undefeated.
Oh, by the gods, please!
And to be honest, a lot of that. It was a perfect storm. Right. There may not have been a Goldberg without the NWO because they made him such a monster. You needed people like that to take him down. And vice versa, he was the perfect foil because he could destroy everyone.
In the biggest match I remember ever being not on pay-per-view, they announced, I want to say it was July 6th. That's how big of a news it was. They announced that Goldberg and Hollywood Hogan would be going at it for the World Heavyweight title on Monday night.
Inside the Georgia Dome in 1999. Absolutely, brother.
That moment was just like one of the biggest moments. And then to me, after that was over, that's when I started switching more to WWF.
Mm-hmm. And you can watch all that on the WWE Network for just $9.99.
For only $9.99 a month.
You can watch all that.
Also, one more plug on that. ESPN Plus has all their 30 for 30s, and they've done some really good ones for wrestling, specifically the XFL.
Plug it one more time.
Go ahead.
ESPN Plus. So even if you get Disney Plus and watch Baby Yoda, because he in itself is worth the price of admission, you can bundle it with ESPN Plus, and you can watch all the ESPN 30 for 30s. There's a couple of them. I know there's an XFL one, and there's one on the Rise and Fall WCW, which was really well done.
And while we're in plug-in mode, once again, this is Loganity presented by Mojo Sports Gear.
Ow.
One more time, who's it presented by?
Mojo Sports Gear.
And if you've got custom T-shirt needs, and look, T-shirts are a big thing. Look at those NWO T-shirts. You can make something bigger, better than that at Mojo Sports Gear.
Put yourself on camera real quick, Styles. He's got one of those shirts on.
He's got them. And I mean,
do. Indeed, I do. Indeed, it is a thing.
And if you and Styles, if you haven't seen the fine T-shirts they gave to Score on Air, and if you have, I know you want to give them a call, and you can give them a call at 614-864-6656. Once again, that's Mojo Sports Gear at 614-864-6656. That's Loganity presented by
there we go.
Mojo Sports Gear.
Mojo Sports Gear rocks. That's too sweet.
That's how you do that. Anyway,
Cleveland rocks.
So before we take a break here, let me ask one question. Let me ask one question for you.
Ask away.
So because there's always a big deal of who is headlining the Hall of Fame. Who is the headliner, in your opinion? I'll kick it off with you, James, or Jason, excuse me. Anywho, thinking of the other guy. Who's the headliner here? Is it Batista or is it the NWO?
That's easy. For life is the headliner, for sure.
That's what logic says, but that's a WCW creation. Do you think Vince McMahon makes Batista the headliner because he obviously is still bitter about, and if you don't believe me, go back and watch WrestleMania 31 where Sting lost Triple H just because.
Just because. I still think you can't make Batista the headliner. I mean, because I like Batista, but I mean, even him being in the Hall of Fame's pushing it. He just got done wrestling a year ago.
Yeah, he just got there the other day.
And he hasn't been gone that long before that.
The other day. I don't think Batista's worked hard enough. I mean, he's a how many time champ? Also, who was the last guy he wrestled?
Triple H.
Simpsons did it. Well,
Triple H at WrestleMania where Ric Flair came in and got involved in the match, but I'm not going to plug it or anything. $9.99.
Hey, friends of friends work together, man.
I got you. Hambino, how about you? Who would you say is the headliner here?
I think in terms of a wrestling standpoint, there's no question. It's the NWO.
It's the NWO.
I think Batista being in draws on. For one, he is Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. So
he is Drax after all.
He is Drax. So I think it might be like a marketing thing to try to reach Marvel fans, whereas they might not have, so that could make him the headline, and also accompany with what you said. NWO, you don't think of NWO, you think of WWF.
Yeah.
You think of NWO and WCW.
Yeah, so I personally, again, I hope that Hogan's ego kicked in one more time Hollywood style and said, I'm not going in unless I'm closing the show, brother. That's what I hope happened. So the NWO, yes, the lethal dose of poison is coming to the Hall of Fame in 2020. Styles, before we take a break, who do you think's the headliner? Not who should be. Who do you think Vince McMahon picks as the headliner?
As of this point in time, who does he pick as a headliner? And also, guys, do we forget that Vince's Hall of Fame, I have to call it Vince's Hall of Fame, Vince's Hall of Fame has a celebrity wing. So is Batista going in as a wrestler or a celebrity?
He is certainly going in as a wrestler.
Are you sure, though? He is Drax. That's what you guys have to understand.
I am completely positive.
He's not done in the ring. I don't think he's going in as a wrestler, guys.
No, he is done in the ring. He's made that very clear.
But they would also say going into the celebrity award, and they never said that. So yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously, it's the three guys. I'm sorry, the four, including Shawn.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Look, always remember, there's only one biggest icon in wrestling, and it ain't Batista. I can guarantee you that.
Ow.
Hollywood for life. And with that, we're going to take our first break here because we are alive and cooking. This is Loganity, presented by who?
Mojo Sports Gear.
Mojo Sports Gear. That's right. Loganity, presented by Mojo Sports Gear, right here on Score On Air, the next generation of sports talk. It's break time.
Just put the Store On Air logo on.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So
It's okay.
Down. And welcome back to another episode of Loganity, presented by
Mojo Sports.
Jason, I'll tell you, it's like we know it's presented by Mojo Sports Gear over here.
Sometimes we do know what we're doing. Sometimes,
every now and again. And if you want to know if you want to know what Mojo Sports Gear is doing, you can give them a call at 614-864-6656. If you need some fine T-shirts made, if you need a custom-made cap, if you need to be custom-made from head to toe in Mojo Sports Gear, in that case, you give them a call. One more time, that's 614-864-6656. That's right, Loganity, presented by Mojo Sports Gear. With that, it's time to talk about the show that's got some mojo some weeks and not so much mojo some weeks, SmackDown on Fox. Styles, SmackDown on Fox. Did you dial in to SmackDown on Fox?
Oh, indeed I did, my friend.
2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? For some reason, it just blew past like a breeze.
Oh, well, I thought that was going a whole different route for a second, but I'm glad it was breeze. PG-13 here, folks.
Indeed it did. But it was truly blissful to see Alexa Bliss on the show. I can't wait to talk about her a little later, man.
We'll talk about her in live and in living color, believe me.
Indeed we shall.
But the main headline of this SmackDown was Bray Wyatt, and again, you'll get on me for phrasing, folks, but this is what we're going with. He played pretty heavily with The Miz. That was the main headline here because they're going to slow burn the Daniel Bryan thing, I think, till the Royal Rumble. And TLC is such a filler. Oh, my Lord, is it such a filler. And so Bray Wyatt played with The Miz. And again, anything Bray Wyatt in his current form touches just turns to gold. If they could get the copyright to Midas, they should, because everything he touches, gold.
What a statement.
It's a real fun house. It's a real fun house over there. See what I did there. What'd you think of it, Jason? What'd you think of it, brother?
Really good segment, especially like Miz's intensity. Like he wasn't all that serious until Bray started talking about his family, and then Miz got real serious real quick, and that's really good to see a guy be able to turn it around like that, especially in professional wrestling because they're not actors. It's harder to do, which speaks to the work that Miz has done over his career to be for lack of a better term, one of the guys. You know, you can always turn to the Miz and say, go do this, and he's going to make it entertaining one way or another.
Oh, you mean they're not actors? Take note, modern day wrestlers. You're not an actor. You're a wrestler. Thanks. There's a difference.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to pull up the hard cam promo for that one.
And I've talked about it so many times about how much I love everything that Bray Wyatt does. As Logan just said, he does have the Midas touch. So I'm really intrigued to see these two and where they go at TLC. But it's leading to a triple threat at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I would think so. Look, it's going to be a Rumble at the Royal Rumble for sure. Look, again, Bray Wyatt makes anything.
God bless you, sir.
God bless you. Firehouse, Funhouse be with you. Anyway, look, look. Hey, let's not make a puppet out of this thing.
This guy's on a roll today, guys.
Right?
I'm on a roll like Huskus, and if you're watching SmackDown, you understand Huskus. I'll take some of his cake. Anyway, Alexa Bliss. Again, all right. If it's a third time, I'll tell you to get that together.
No. You know what? It's something about Alexa Bliss, and I knew it was coming. I have a rundown here in front of me.
What?
Hey.
Yeah.
Whatever rundown deals with Alexa Bliss is your business. Whatever. Alexa Bliss defeated Mandy Rose. It was an ugly match. There was ripped eyelashes.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, Mandy Rose.
So beautiful, isn't she, guys? She's one of my favorites.
Like, let's be real here, folks. Mandy Rose, eat your heart out. That's really God's greatest creation right there. And think about it. She's Columbus's. She's
Columbus's own Alexa Bliss.
Guys, is that why she says bully? Like, do you guys remember the time she was saying bully, and she was like, "You're such a bully, Sasha Banks." Is that why she talks that way?
That is exactly why she talks.
Because she's from the good old Buckeye State.
Yeah, that's why she talks like us, you non-Buckeye State person that can tell our accents because we don't notice it.
Warsh. Oh yeah. It grinds my gears. There's just the little things, guys.
Well, if Alexa Bliss needs any help washing whatever she likes, I'm here. Anyway, Loganity, you can call me 614. I'll get to it later. Anyway, and there was a horrible bad botch on a rollover DDT, and it got bowling shoe ugly, as JR would say. What'd you think of the match?
Like you said, man, it was not their best work. Alexa's, as much as I love Alexa Bliss, she's still rusty. She just got back. And Mandy Rose, I mean, when was the last time she was on TV? How often does she get a chance to work? Mm-hmm. So I think they both were given a disservice in this, and that they're not doing the house show circuit, obviously, because they just couldn't get it going.
There was all sorts of hitches in that giddy up. Styles, did you see the match? What'd you think of it?
Okay, maybe it'll help if my microphone was on, huh?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know what guy back there.
Yeah, you know.
What poor guy back there is producing.
I just kind of thought.
I don't know.
I thought the eyelash thing was just a little bit too much.
Yeah. Oh.
That's just my take on it. Alexa Bliss can do anything she wants. She's Little Miss Bliss, and she'll forever be great, in my personal opinion. I'm a Corey Graves guy, too. You know what I mean? I look at her the same way Corey Graves does, so she does no wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she does not.
Look. She
does no wrong.
She could spit in my face and tell me it's raining. I'd believe her.
I would believe it, and I would say thank you.
Absolutely. Anyway, the revival, and again, this is. Let me say something to WWE here quickly. This has been the laziest build-up to a pay-per-view I can remember in quite some time, and that's topping some real stinkers, folks. I mean, that's topping some real ugly pay-per-view builds. This is such a throw-in card, such a shoe-in card. Laziness doesn't even begin to describe. It looks like my work ethic out there, and that's not saying much. Absolutely horrible. Because the reason I say that is because the Revival won a random tag match with Heavy Machinery, Ali, and Shorty G, and for God's sake, can we change his name back now, please?
Bro, they're not changing the name back, man. That's his name, bro.
To face the New Day at TLC, and again, just such a... And look, the Revival's okay. I know they're trying to go for that whole Anderson's vibe of the Four Horsemen, but there's not ever going to be another Four Horsemen. Look, they're okay. It's just... Why? What happened to the story? To my understanding, Vincent Kennedy McMahon still makes all the final calls when it comes to Raw and SmackDown. And one thing I've defended him on profusely is that he likes a little story with his wrestling. Well, there's not much of a story here. It's literally the front and back cover of a book, and we're filling in the pages. And I don't have the patience or the time. If you can't put energy into your product, why should I as a viewer?
The Revival are top guys, though.
Yeah, well, look, they can. Apparently, they've sold you on that T-shirt, not a big stocking stuffer, and that's
not
fine.
Not a big deal.
Look, no, they're not a big deal. It's not at all. Am I off base here, Jason?
I mean, I don't think it's all that serious. I'm excited. Like, yeah, they haven't built up a lot of the matches, but I mean, I'm kind of excited for everything but Roman Reigns versus King's Corbin at this point. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good, solid wrestling at TLC. We're going to get to see, and I can't talk about it all because a lot of stuff happened last night, and that would just be skipping all over. Right. Nobody wants that.
Well, hey, I've skipped all over a lot of people. Look, but where's the story?
There is actually one in there. They had that little rivalry earlier in the year.
Well, you must have more 2020 vision than I do because
they were feuding when Sheamus and Cesaro were still a team before Sheamus got hurt. So there's a bit of a story that they did beat the Revival for those titles, and now it's time to get some revenge.
Did you say Sheamus? Because that leads right on in. There was another Sheamus return promo or vignette, whatever you want to call them, where he talks about how soft SmackDown and wrestling as a whole is gone. And I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing this Sheamus. How about you?
Oh, I can't wait. It's like going to be it's not going to be Drew McIntyre times 2, but it's that type of a character. Yeah. Same thing. You guys are weak, you're lazy, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to beat you bruised and make you work hard, and I love it.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see it, which hopefully leads to about a year from now, that man and Drew McIntyre wrestling for a world championship.
I would be just fine with that. Do you think he's got another year in the ring now?
I do, as long as he like I talked about a little bit last week. Let's not run into any TLCs or Hell in a Cells or do any of your crazy bumps you were doing with the New Day, please, because you're just gonna hurt yourself. It's okay. I don't need to see Sheamus doing all that all the time. I watch Sheamus to hear the physicality that is involved with Sheamus, because everything he does is loud. When he hits you with those forearms, it's loud. When he slams on the back, it's loud.
He works stiff. He's stiffer than week-old bread. He is stiff. Absolutely, he works big time.
How many times do you actually find yourself saying that one in life? Huh?
Well, look, I could go a whole lot of ways here, but we keep it PG. I could go a whole lot of ways on stiff, but again, we're gonna keep PG. No,
the boss is in the building today. We're not talking about Sasha Banks, gentlemen.
looking deeply forward to the return of Sheamus, because wrestling as a whole needs more physicality, really, in my opinion. In 2019, I look greatly forward to him being back. Lacey Evans defeated a jobber. That's irrelevant. What is kind of relevant, and that's a stretch, Sasha Banks confronting Lacey. I like what they're doing there. I kind of, because Lacey Evans kind of fits as the all-American girl. She was a Marine. I mean, that's not a story. She legit was. She is a wife and a mother, and she's got charisma in spades. And again, that I put it over last week. I think that woman's right. Oh man, that
thing's legit, man.
I mean, if that don't fire you up every time you see that finisher, you go, I'm gonna run through a wall.
Normally, it's like, oh, when I see it, because it always looks so brutal.
Yeah, it always it looks bowl and shoe ugly as far as like, wow, that just took she took a roundhouse, kind of something like Patrick Swayze be proud of in Roadhouse back in the day. How's that for a reference?
Roadhouse.
How's that for a reference? I mean, honestly, it is just a big time finisher. What do you like where this is going with Sasha Banks and Lacey?
I do. I think this is the only way you can get Lacey as a face. You have to put her with the boss. And then she gets to Bayley to get the title to be the face on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. But she's got to go through the boss first to really establish her as a face, because as we've talked about, Bayley did a lot to try to change as a heel, but it's not working. No one's behind her as a heel. They're still behind her best friend, Sasha Banks, which, why are they still friends? This is the longest time that anyone has been best friends in professional wrestling that I have ever seen. And it does them both a disservice.
Gentlemen,
they do so much better against each other than with each other.
Friends always work better with each other, not in this sense. Well, I really want to say something. I know Logan has to tell him how he feels on it.
Go ahead, bro.
But I didn't like this simple fact. I watched some Bayley when she first came up, her first match in 2016 on the main roster. It was a Monday Night Raw after a major pay-per-view. Can't remember which one, but it was one of the big four or big five. Okay, so Bayley makes her premiere. And she has the match against, we were just talking about the young lady earlier, the lackey for Charlotte at the time. Do you guys remember the name? It doesn't matter. Dana Brooke.
Batista's new girlfriend,
right,
apparently.
That lucky dog, Batista. So they had their match. And all I can remember saying to myself is, I cannot believe this is such a wasted talent. I could not believe that Bayley became such a wasted talent on the main roster. It just hurt me. That's all I wanted to say.
I got you. Look, I think Bayley needs to go back to NXT because this Bayley is just the I mean, she's just the pits. She's just the pits. If I'm being quite frank about it, I don't like this Bayley. It's not doing anything. It just makes her look weaker while Sasha Banks looks stronger. It doesn't work for me. I don't care for it. Anyway, we'll move along here. Roman Reigns defeated Dolph Ziggler. With the spear. By the way, Dolph Ziggler sells the spear like The Rock sold the stunner.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, listen,
he's
you know what?
He's such
a salesman, man.
Look, yeah, he's doing Billy Mays' memory proud. I can tell you that.
Indeed.
I can tell you that. This got a little corny to close out our thoughts on SmackDown. Corbin and company, it was rude. It was Ziggler. They ambushed Roman, and look, they were handcuffing him, and I was like, well, this is okay. This is kind of old school. I like that. And then we just got absolutely, ridiculous isn't the word. MTV could have sued WWE for ridiculousness copyright as far as that goes. How's that for there? I made a reference for the young kids.
The young kids.
The young kids.
For the youngsters. What the youngsters call it again? The young kids call it.
The young kids.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. The young kids actually watch that.
I don't even...
it's a show called Ridiculousness.
So I'm old, people, apparently, because I didn't even know that was a thing.
Because what they did was they handcuffed him, and again, I thought, all right, now we're getting vicious. Now this is a heel maneuver. But then they just go and muck it up. Yes, I said muck. Muck. They just completely ruin it by Dolph Ziggler says, "You want to act like a big dog, huh?" And they get cans of dog food. I'm talking about you could see the brand and everything. I bought that dog food for my dog.
Don't plug the dog food either. Don't you dare plug it. Logan, do not plug the dog food, sir.
You can go down. You can go down to your fine Walmart, your Target, as they say, or even the Kroger.
Krog.
I'm not going to put it over. I'm not. It's a mess. Absolutely. it just so corny, so bad. You took something good and you mucked it up. You completely oh man, like I haven't. Why? I don't understand. It's like Brett Favre playing in New York. It's fine if you want to keep playing football, but why you got to do it in New York? It didn't. Why? Just who thought this was a good idea? Jason, give me your thoughts.
Well, on that, Vince probably thought it was hilarious.
Well, I defend him, but
fine.
His personality is questionable.
So I'm right there with you. I was all into it. I'm like, yeah, all right, this is cool. They're finally taking it to the next level with these two. None of this nonsense. And like you said, it was pretty old school. And then quickly shifted to Vince's favorite school, middle school. And we had them dumping dog food on Roman Reigns for no reason. It makes no sense to the story at all. And none of the things that Corbin has made fun of Roman Reigns for being the big dog really makes sense. He kind of earned that. He beat that one guy at WrestleMania, one of the only two men to beat that guy, The Undertaker, at WrestleMania. He kind of earned the big dog moniker. So it's
But you know what? In Vince's company,
writing to go this route.
Absolutely, yes. Roman Reigns did, in fact, win over the deed to the yard when he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. So, yes, he is, in fact, the big dog, and yes, he is, in fact, the face of the company, and we're going to find that out in the next few months in a big way. I got a feeling. We're not going to prelude any spoilers there.
Can we just talk about how much of a disservice they're doing to Dolph Ziggler, though? I mean, I know we're crunched for time. I know when you look up and know what that means, but it's just like, you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't say we're crunched for time. I mean, we're just
not yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, guys,
will.
This is Kenny from the Spirit Squad, after all. You know what I mean? So like, I just feel as if Ziggler's been around long enough to kind of get a little bit of love there.
Can I just say, at least that was better than the Mean Street Posse.
Was the Spirit Squad better than the Mean Street Posse?
It was.
And that's something for you listeners at home to decide. Was the Spirit Squad better than the Mean Street Posse?
Was the Spirit Squad legitimately? You know what? They have to go to the Loganity Facebook page.
You're welcome, viewers, because this is a tough one.
This is a tough one, though.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think the Spirit Squad was better than the Mean Street Posse.
I don't know. They were Shane's friends, guys.
Look, they can sell me all they want to on the mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut, everybody. But there is when I think mean streets, it's going to take a while.
I need one a little bit down the road.
Yeah.
Not in Greenwich,
Hey, listen, not in Greenwich. They don't even have anything mean in Greenwich. I don't know. Well, you know.
Not in Greenwich, Connecticut. No. The answer is no.
Can't trick me.
It's no. This I don't see it. With that, it's time. It's time we do another plug special, if you will. Every Wednesday here on Score On Air, there's a show called CBJ Crosstrack. I'll tell you who's a big part of it. Hambino is a big part of it, and yes, he lurks over this place like a large shadow. Kyra Game Day, she's a star. She's an absolute star. She just doesn't know it yet. So you need to tune in and watch her and make her believe it, because then she's got greatness just oozing out of her. Big Cody Larson, good friend of the show. Good friend of the show. He's been on he was on once, not a couple times. We're going to get him back in here because look, CBJ Crosscheck is all right, but there's nothing like Loganity. And you absolutely you got to watch it every Wednesday, 2 to 4. Hambino, is that correct? 2 to 4. 2 to 4. 2 to 4. CBJ Crosscheck. If you're a hockey fan, if you're not a hockey fan, frankly, we got good enough personalities in here. Oh, Dion the Nuance is on there. Yes, sir. That's right. My main man, Dion the Nuance. Sorry, Dion. He's going to hurt me tomorrow when he sees me. He's my August cohort brother, and I forgot about him in the promo. That's a shame. You know who I haven't forgotten about the promo? You know who I haven't forgotten about the promo? This is Loganity presented by
Mojo Sports Gear.
And if you're wanting to give them a call and get yourself some fine custom-made shirts,
Should I show my shirt again, Logan? I'm sorry. I mean,
Absolutely.
if we're gonna plug it, we're gonna plug it.
Don't just show it. Explain the comfort level.
Absolutely.
Explain the comfort level too.
Absolutely. Come on now.
I don't know how I'm gonna show the back of a shirt, guys.
Come on,
I don't know.
start it for us,
You know
sir.
what? I'm feeling a little King Corbin-ish.
Come on.
We're gonna drop that there first.
Come on.
Oh, gee,
because we're are talking about it. Look at him.
Come
the
on
shirt
now.
is legit BA Billy Gunn.
Yep.
So do I go like that?
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Just go over to the.
Just go over there because I feel like that was weird.
Come on over here. Come on over here. Come on over here. Come on over here.
Sure. That may have been a little close to PG.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
past
PG. You guys look at me at the same time. Can you guys see it? Do I turn to the back?
Now you got to twirl. Give me the. Too sweet. Too sweet, brother. Too sweet.
Check it out.
Get him with. Oh yeah. Score
The
on
new
air.
generation of sports talk.
Score on air. And if you and look, isn't that just the finest custom-made shirt you've
Guys,
seen?
it is so comfortable, guys. It makes me look slim. Check it out. Guys, I need to come over here with you guys.
Absolutely.
Who's gonna do the graphics for it?
Absolutely.
We know a guy.
Absolutely.
Look at this Mojo Sports Gear provided Score on Air shirt.
And if you are as impressed with that T-shirt as we all are,
gosh.
you can give Mojo Sports Gear a call. At 614.
Yeah, look, I even look slim.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I stand this way, I look slim too. Check it out.
Oh yeah, just I mean, look at that. Just
the Mojo Sports
that is physique that you can.
That's too sweet.
That's diabetic, brother. That's diabetic, brother. And if you think it's just as sweet as we do, if you think it's borderline diabetes like we do, you can give them a call at 614-864-6656. One more time, give them a call. 614-864-6656. That's right, Loganity, presented by Mojo Sports Gear. Now, how's that for Dynamite? See what I did there?
I like that.
All right.
The Sheamus thing was completely by accident. Totally just came out.
That's how this whole show works. It's all by accident.
It's all a shoot, brother.
I didn't notice until you said it.
Guys, this is legitimately the biggest shoot I've ever seen in all of my life.
That's all right. That's all right. If it's beverage time. If it's beverage time.
It's beverage time. Okay, whatever.
If it's beverage time. You got a drink?
No, I don't have a drink. I didn't know that we were allowed
Do you
to
need
do
a
that.
Dr. Pepper? I got one.
You have a Dr. Pepper?
No, that's.
Do you have an extra Dr. Pepper in your bag? If you pull out a Dr. Pepper right now.
All right.
No, this guy has a Dr. Pepper in his
In
bag.
that case, boys, I call for a toast.
I call for a toast.
I call for a toast, boys. Right here.
Hey,
Live on the air.
Live on the air.
after all, Hogan is going into the Hall of Fame.
For the second time,
For
brother.
the second time. So you know what?
So
this one is in favor of the NWO being too sweet.
This one is for the NWO.
Drink break. How you doing?
Just too sweet. Just too sweet.
Why does this guy have Dr. Pepper in his bag?
Because they're 2 for $3.
Of course the guy who works at the store would know. You know.
How was that? And that's gonna make the Loganity Facebook page.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
no, guys. I'm telling you right now, if everyone in their mama doesn't put in so that we can get some Suplex Off the Barn t-shirts from
Mojo Sports
Gear.
I'm going to have a heart attack, man.
And if we keep drinking these caffeinated beverages, we just might
Indeed.
All right, with that was a great plug. Here's to you, Hollywood, NWO for life. That was a great plug. Now let's talk Dynamite. The Young Bucks and Dustin Rhodes, they defeated members of the Inner Circle, Sammy G, the Spanish God.
Such a great name.
And Proud and Powerful. What stuck out to me in this match real quickly was, how about Dustin pulling off the Canadian
Yes.
Destroyer?
Oh my God. I never thought I would ever see Dustin Rhodes do a Canadian Destroyer, and it looked good.
Yeah, and it's 2019.
It looked good.
And it's 2019, so give me your thoughts on it, my friend.
Oh man. So I mean, it's a typical Bucks match. It wasn't as choreographed because Dustin was there. And I'll speak on the show as a whole real quick. There was a lot of this, and I will allude to this a lot when we're talking about this. This was, as far as to me, yes, it was a live TV show. Yes, it had storyline implications. A lot of what I noticed on this particular Dynamite, this was a training Dynamite for younger wrestlers.
Absolutely, I wholeheartedly agree. Which makes me get as much as I love JR, as much as I love Tony Schiavone, on a show like this, they feel out of place.
They do.
They feel like they do. They feel out of place.
They do. They need to. And like you said, I love them. I don't want them to go away, but like it's almost like we need them to switch out and have some young guy in there. JR take a week off. A young guy that wants to do commentating comes in and learns.
Yeah, but that becomes a conflict of interest, though. After
why
a while.
is it a conflict of interest? They're gonna be gone eventually. You gotta, and that's the thing about AEW. The wrestlers are doing the production. The wrestlers are doing all that stuff. They're learning on the job for everything. So why not take it a step further for the commentators?
Here's my thing. Why don't they do the old school? Because look, JR and Tony don't deserve to have their job completely taken from them. Do what they used to do for Raw. Remember, it used to be 1 hour of a commentator team, and then another hour of a commentator team. That way, you can stick a guy like have Jericho and Dustin and those old school guys for the old school guys. But when you're going essentially WCW Cruiserweight hour, then that's when you need to switch out the current version of JR and Tony Schiavone because they just don't fit that high-fly product right now.
It's harder for them to call.
Yeah,
it's a lot harder
because it's quicker than anything they're used to. And I'm not putting them down. I'm not. I love JR. He has forgotten more about this business than I'll ever know. But at the end of the day, there's a voice that fits with that kind of product, and there's a voice that doesn't. They lack the. Frankly, they lack the enthusiasm because they're both grizzled at this stage to really effectively put that over. But say what you will about Michael Cole, and there's plenty of grievances there, he always sounds enthusiastic, where it seems like JR and Tony are struggling to come up with that these days. That's just my take.
When, for lack of a better term, during the Cruiserweight hour, when it's mostly guys you really don't know a lot about yet, yeah, you're right, they don't have that enthusiasm. But, I mean, so with Cody, Dustin, Jericho, Moxley, when they come out there, you can hear the enthusiasm because they have relationships with these guys. Not that they don't talk to the younger guys, but they've known. I mean, Jericho's and JR have been friends for decades. And that goes for, Dustin Rhodes as well. So he's automatically going to be more enthusiastic calling those matches because they have the relationship. You want him to get over.
The reason that JR went absolutely ape every time Stone Cold let out a stunner is because they're legit best friends. They're legit best friends. We didn't agree to a drink break, but okay. That's fine. That's all right. Okay.
They can't see it here.
Ice cold pepper, my friend.
Let me just put my little 2 cents in. I know we have to move on. I already wrote off AEW. I know you guys are not going to like this, but you know who made me not like it? This kid right here with his tongue sticking out. I mean, it was too much for me, man. I'm almost 30. Next year I'll be 30. In November. And guys, this was too much for me. I mean, this doesn't make me want to watch wrestling. I mean,
well, but if one guy turns off the entire product to you, then how do you sit through WWE?
I mean,
because there's many.
I mean, that's a valid point.
Who? I mean, they don't. Are they longing their tongues out?
Well,
some of them do.
Undertaker dropping that tombstone, brother.
First of all, don't you dare! Hey,
look at Logan coming from the an AEW wrestler that's not named Chris Jericho. I love it.
By the gods, Logan.
Look, I'm just saying.
What's gotten into you?
I'm just saying. There's more turn-offs on WWE than there are on a Tinder page. I'm putting them equally both down. There's plenty to be turned off about by both.
No, the tongue thing, that was enough.
Yeah, they had
me.
really, really bad audio issues. I guess Matt said satellites were out for all of TNT, but those were bad. It was so awful.
It was. I'm gonna say it. It was Impact-esque. I'm gonna say it. That's Loganity, presented by Mojo Sports Gear.
Mojo Sports Gear.
And on top of that, apparently, as soon as he got back to the curtain, his phone was full of texts as what is going on, why is your audio not where, what's going on from friends and family and everyone else. Just throw that out there. Sorry, guys.
Hey, that's all right, brother. That's all right. We shoot from the hip like all the great cowboys here. Like I said, we are the show that we're untouchable, but we're going to force you to fill us. So that's how that works. That's how that works. Again, Colgate got nothing on us. We are the brush. So that's how it works. Phoenix defeated Trent. I thought this had great athleticism to it. I really did. I thought it was great. But again, too flippy, just too many flips. Just it made me long for a Revival T-shirt, because every now
no flips, just flips.
This guy here, man.
Every now and again, let's hit him in the face, old school, potato him for Pete's sake. Just I want to see, this is
Shane
wrestling.
McMahon must own a potato company. I mean, he's really good at the potato.
Somewhere up at the pearly gates. Somewhere up the pearly gates, Harley Race is taking a long drag of a cigarette every time he watches some of these guys, and he's going, I'll move. That's the old school way is sometimes the better way. I know things evolve and things change, but you get so flippy and it's just, are we wrestling or are we stage dancing? Because if we're stage dancing, then give Kevin Federline a call.
Do it.
I think one company did that once, didn't they?
Yeah, I think, hey, guys, also, wasn't Federline like a WCW heavyweight champion?
No, that was David Arquette.
That was Arquette. Oh, well, same.
Don't besmirch David Arquette like that.
I feel like you're a real big fan for some reason.
Look, all I know is
Scream was amazing.
Scream was amazing.
All I know is him being champion was a real scary movie.
Russo was also a champ.
Sidebar.
All right.
You want to know why I'm a fan of David Arquette?
No, I don't.
Because he's the reason Booker T became champion.
Okay.
Booker T says it.
That's the truth.
He went into the back after winning that title, and he went on live TV. He said, I don't deserve this, and handed it over. And then Booker T became the champion, which led to the five-time WCW champion.
That's all well and good.
That's why I love David Arquette. Him being champion was gross.
Yeah.
But
a real scary movie, if you will.
I like
professionalism in wrestling from someone that hadn't even been trained in wrestling and it was a celebrity is rare.
And look, I can understand that, but I mean, if somebody would have just stepped in and said that doesn't work for me, brother, I'll take the belt 1, 2, 3. I mean, they may have ended up a Hall of Famer. They may have been a Hall of Famer. They may have ended up a 2-time Hall of Famer by the time it's all done at WrestleMania 36 in
This
Tampa.
guy doesn't. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, but look, I've put them over enough, or have I? Anywho, look, great athleticism, but too flippy for my taste. That's just me. Cody cut an in-ring promo on MJF, and I got to tell you, I was struck. I was struck by this.
I know you were,
because it was.
I got a message like 10 minutes later.
Because I was really struck by this because I found myself going, self. You know what these Cody promos are starting to sound like, in a very toned down manner. You remember back in the Nitro days when it became the point of Mean Gene Okerlund would have Ric Flair come out as almost a WCW State of the Union address sort of thing. And that's what this is starting to feel like between Cody and Tony. And you know, because Cody cut this promo about because MJF won't wrestle him because they used to be best friends and we're just wanting to move past. But Cody was willing to risk whatever it took to get him to do it. And I mean, he started throwing around his car keys.
Cody threw his car keys.
Yeah, he got his car keys to and he said there was like only 300 made of that type of car in the world. He had a nice watch on. You know, he said they got it from Tony Khan. Jacksonville, Dixie, which is totally fine.
He gave him his shoes. Gave up his shoes. I forget who made the shoes.
Gave up his shoes. Those red bottoms. He had.
That's what he said. The red bottoms.
Cody had on red bottoms.
Cody always has on some red bottoms.
I mean, you know, the kind of shoes that make Cardi B just get up and dance.
So I was just gonna say, Cardi talks about the red bottoms all the time. Us poor folks know nothing of. Yeah, these are certain shoes.
These are red bottoms. Okay, I'm not gonna get.
I know nothing past Cody Rhodes wore shoes with red bottoms.
Guys, Logan is about to turn up inside the studio. We need to take a break, guys.
All right, bro. Let's take a break here.
Father God.
Let's take a break here. We'll be right back. We'll finish up AEW. This is Loganity presented by Mojo Sports Gear.
Mo to the Joe Sports Gear.
The future of broadcasting is evolving, and you can be on the front line. Digital and traditional media jobs are being created daily, and the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School can help you find your next career. With financial aid and job placement assistance available, the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School provides instruction from industry-experienced veterans like me, ready to share their knowledge of the media broadcasting industry. Contact us today at 614-655-5250 or apply online at beonair.com. The Ohio Media School. Media broadcasting training starts here.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School. Do you have a passion for broadcasting, sports, or film production? The Ohio Media School is currently enrolling. For more information, visit beonair.com or give us a call at 614-655-5250. That's 614-655-5250.
get your mics hot.
And welcome back to another episode. That's right, yet another episode of Loganity presented by Mojo Sports Gear. No, we haven't been canceled yet. And I don't think we're going to be either, because I'll tell you what, one thing we can do is we can plug. Speaking of plugs, who's this presented by?
Mojo.
Right, Styles, who's this presented by?
I mean, I like the way we shoot this around the room. Like, never mind. That was going to go in a way like sunny days. Anyway, I like how we shoot that thing around the room, guys. It's sponsored by Mojo Sports Gear.
Look, hey, look. When the ticket is hot, you got to get it around the room. You got to get it around the room. Anyway, so we were talking. Cody, he cut that in-ring promo on MGF. And again, I was very struck by, because again, he was flaunting wealth that I haven't seen since 1998. And who was flaunting that wealth?
Ric Flair.
16-time. 16-time. Anyway, what about you? Do you think because I sent you the message? Do you think there was some?
You were 100%.
Do you think there were some overtones to that?
Yeah, I think he's been watching old Ric Flair promos. To be honest, I mean that might. And there's one who can blame him because they're crazy as hell and entertaining. But I mean, if that's the character he's kind of going for. I mean, yes, he's an executive, so he's got to play the part, and he's got to dress the part. And so, therefore, it's basically a newer version of Ric Flair. He's not ripping off Ric Flair. He's not repeating things Ric Flair said.
Right.
But it's that style of a character, and I dig it.
Yeah, I absolutely, I got that overtone, and I was like, well, if he just dropped a little bit of, that whole thing. And
a little bit of that in there.
It just, I mean.
Woo.
And, I mean, took the shirt off, maybe just rifled a Gucci shoe. It would have been very, very similar. And so, I'm not going to fault you. If you've been modeling your game after the Nature Boy, frankly, Loganity has too. So, look, we all wish we were half as cool as the 16-time world champion.
I agree.
So I enjoyed the segment. Here's a segment I didn't enjoy. There was a Dark Order vignette that I thought was just this side of cringeworthy. I mean, it's like having your mom at the prom watching these sort of things. What is this? There's some sort of bootleg cult that, look, if we're going to go bootleg cults, that's been done to death in wrestling. It's been done, and it's been done to death in life too. But I won't get into that.
The Brood. Would you guys define the Brood as a cult in a sense? Just a quick question.
Yeah, little vampire cult.
Little cultish.
Yeah,
okay, just asking.
But I mean, overall, of course, the OG Wyatt family was, because Bray Wyatt was a backwoods Charles Manson.
They were definitely a cult, guys. They're a cult. Yeah. That's a cult.
And so I just think, like, because then the slaps on the face and looking like Eric Cartman when he gets ticked off and wants to fight somebody on South Park. You remember how they do the slap fights
like
all
the
the time?
cheesy poops,
I love cheesy poops. You love cheesy poops. All right, gang.
By the gods, look.
All right. Look here, guys. This is pretty serious. You guys have made me break up my Cartman impersonation. All right, anywho, that's somewhere between Cartman and Dusty Rhodes. Anyway, I don't like the Dark Order. I don't see why I take them serious. Because again, because I can understand kind of a cultish thing, and I can be befuddled by it and be okay with it. But where it got bad was like the fat guy, and they're slapping him in the face, and that's how they're like he's not a bongo drum. I didn't understand that. What'd you think of it, my man?
Well, that was a fine example of the end can hurt a lot of it. Because cults have been done to death in professional wrestling. But hey, at least it's something. I've been complaining the whole time AEW started. I don't know anything about these people. At least now I have a general idea of who the Dark Order is. They won't just take anybody. Apparently you have to love violence. If you want friends, you're the fat guy that got beat up. And then the end happened. With I'll refer to it, I believe, as the zombie claws to the face.
Is that what we're calling that?
I mean, that's what my head said. Wow, that looks like, a zombie show right now where they would be clawing at the body and all over him.
Can you do the clawing? Can you do the clawing again? Okay. Is that the face the zombies make as they claw?
No, I think it's
Okay. Jason McCarthy.
I'm a weird one, folks, if you haven't noticed yet.
And that's why you're on Loganity. Every week, 4 to 6, right here, Score On Air, Mojo Sports Gear, ScoreOnAir.com, next generation of sports talk. No, we're not taking a break.
No.
I'm just putting things over. See, I don't dig it. Because look, if you're going to go cult, if it's not Bray Wyatt, if it's not Ministry of Darkness, instead it's just guys wearing a mask that look like
that wasn't a cult.
They look like they're about to rob a Dollar Tree.
Ow, that was
Ouch.
Kind of do with the green little lining. It does. It looks.
You know what? Just for the record,
it looks like a bad knockoff of the Kick-Ass superhero. It looks.
It does match his mask.
It does. I think it is his mask. It's a rip on the mask.
It just doesn't. It doesn't work for me, brother.
Guys, the Ministry of Darkness. The Ministry of Darkness was not a cult, and also that was not a cross. It was a symbol.
All right. The Undertaker was cutting.
Recap of ancient language.
Yeah.
Teacher.
Just absolutely. Okay, this is just utterly ridiculous.
This is
utterly ridiculous, and that's my. It left me uninterested. It left me wanting more. So what'd you think of that match quickly? There ain't much to say,
I mean,
right?
it was really just a basic squash. The story is her power bombing the ref through the table and then power bombing onto the referee and then getting fined for it. That's the story. There was no story, and this is what they've been doing with the librarians ever since it started. And that's my problem with both characters. I'm not getting to know them. I'm not getting to really see what they can do in the ring because they don't get to go out there and do anything.
And that's the entire problem with the women's division right now. If it's not Awesome Kong, if it's not Brandy Rhodes, there's no story at all, and even that story is.
Sorry to interrupt. Fill out Lap Bowser Friday.
Got you.
I signed up on it.
All right, got you.
yeah. Because
Okay.
All right, got you. All right.
that couldn't be said in Slack.
All right. Very much so. That you have. Are we good audio wise? Are we good audio? All right, cool. Got you. I do know that you have a lot to say about this one. The Lexicon of Le Champion was debuted on AEW this week, and pretty much, if you thought it was a list, you necessarily wouldn't be mistaken. But it's not 2016. It is now the Lexicon of Le Champion.
Say it one more time. One more time.
It is the Lexicon. I'm gonna let him have the floor.
I mean, or should I say, by. He's got his own LLC, apparently, because that's what I'm going to say. I love saying record of Le Champion, but LLC, that's why he chose. They are so. The feud they had in the E out of the water because there will be no strings attached to them, and it's gonna be epic. And that man right there, that man on your screens,
the late champion,
is doing everything he said he would. He put Jungle Boy over on Wednesday night. Every insult he said got the fans more and more and more behind Jungle Boy. And ever since he started, what has he said when he's not on camera? We're here to build stars. We are not competition. We are an alternative, and we are building new stars. Jungle Boy's going to be a star after December 18th. Luchasaurus will be a star in about 6 months.
Imagine the guy...
Look, I'm with you.
He's really angry about that.
I should put my face on screen.
I'm with you on that, but I'm not going to knock anything Chris Jericho does when he's
No. Chris Jericho's great.
Chris Jericho
is great.
He is rolling right now like a Mustang on the 4-day drive.
Ow!
He is absolutely. I mean, look, and I know that some of you go, well, see, he's running out of ideas. It's just a list. It doesn't matter. It's the list reinvented. It's just so.
And we all know.
It is. It's like a mixture of. Too.
Absolutely.
Jericho is the GOAT,
I'm
guys.
not going to say. And then, by the way, calling him a pizza chip just works so well for me. Just calling him a pizza chip because everyone's rooting for you. Well, I'm not. I think you're a pizza chip. He didn't say chip, folks. It's PG-13 here. But I'm not going to go cross that line.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, so I like the way he said that, I went, oh, my.
Well, that was awfully close.
I literally went, oh my days. He really did just say that on the air. I did. I went, oh my days. He really did just say that on the air.
Guys, we've been here having the time of our lives. Sometimes people look in here and I know they're like, what is wrong with these gentlemen? Like, what are these?
No, they're not saying what's wrong. They're
Like,
saying,
what are
they doing?
Yeah, what are they in there doing? We're in here every Tuesday, 4 to 6 p.m. Score on Air, the new generation of sports talk. It's Loganity. Yeah, I did that.
Absolutely.
I'll take one.
And we're presented by
Mojo Sports Gear.
There it is, brother. So yeah, Chris Jericho, you're
the GOAT.
You stay golden.
Stay golden, Pony Boy.
You stay golden. You stay golden, Pony Boy.
Nice reference.
Keep your pen to yourself, damn it.
But that was the complaint. See, it was the soft side.
That's what she said.
When I'm complaining, it's the sharp side.
Okay.
Chris Jericho, just so good that I think I absolutely think he can make a horse stop and listen.
Don't you point your sharp side at me ever again, damn it. I'll tell you what. This is a wrestling show, sir.
Hey, what you guys do with your swords afterwards is your business.
Speaking of swords, there is a pen. You know,
weird. This was, I I mean, this was bad. This was, and I don't mean like Michael Jackson bad or Billy Gunn bad. This was, oh man, this was atrocious. This was day-old seafood out at the buffet bad.
Was it a boring promo in your opinion? Like, was the promo more boring, or was it just like, a little bit of too much of?
It was boring, and it made very little sense to me. Like,
that's what it was. It didn't make sense.
And they had that. I know it wasn't a fan, but for storyline purposes, the fan of like, what in the blue hell is this CM Punk Straight Edge Society?
That's the first thing I thought of. Wrestling's been around for so long. You're gonna steal things
and borrow
and make them your own. It's how the business works, folks. If you don't know that, you need to go back and watch more wrestling.
So she cuts a really boring promo.
It was boring because it didn't make sense.
Right.
The feeling was there. She believed the words she was saying, but they were trying to mix a cult with the Straight Edge Society, and it didn't really work.
Doesn't mesh necessarily.
Yes, the Triscuits love me.
And they're really weird and boring.
Like I said, I can live with the tomato. That Straight Edge Society vibe with, I'm the chief brand officer, by the way, and there's too many cooks in that particular promo kitchen on that one. That's just, and then what is this weird obsession also Colin's got with cutting people's hair? I don't quite understand it.
They haven't told us yet.
Because she cuts off parts of people's hair like they did back in the war with eaters, and that whole thing. You collect eaters as a trophy, the old school gladiators of war.
Yeah, that's not weird.
It wouldn't make more sense. Cuts off parts of women's hair, and she collects them and she smells them. I mean, she doesn't just smell them. I mean, she is.
Sounds a little fetish-like, if you ask me.
That might break the censor, but that's it. That's totally it. I'm talking about it's the creepy search at Amazon at 2 a.m. It's really shaky. All right, but I just thought it was shaky. Anything more you'd like to say on that?
I mean, I guess what really hurts the hair part is, like you said, it's a shoot off of what happened back, in wars when we would take people, when not we, but people. But Awesome Kong hasn't beat anybody yet. It would make more sense if she was having matches and winning and then beating them up. And then taking their hair.
But do you know what they're expecting us to do? They're expecting us to know who Awesome Kong is from Impact. Literally, they are putting over Impact's version of the network. They have their own. Because literally, it's the only.
What is it called? Are we going to plug it? What is it even called? I don't even know what it's called.
It's called Impact Plus or something like that.
Oh, nice.
But anywho,
creative.
But anywho, but my point being is because they're expecting us to know about Awesome Kong and the reason to take that seriously. So frankly, I don't know if Jeff Jarrett has slipped in the back somewhere over there.
Oh God, don't ever say that. Do not wish that evil on AEW. I mean,
There was one spot that stuck out to me here. There was a bad botch on the ramp. Christopher Daniels went for a moonsault, and he's got the best moonsault ever.
He does.
Quite literally and figuratively, if you see what I did there. But he went for it here, and he slipped like a 2-year-old on ice, and he landed splat hard. It was rough. I was worried for him because I know he's fresh off that pinched nerve, and you don't know how long those things might linger because wrestlers, especially old school guys like him, as soon as you're feeling well enough, you're back in there. And so that's what stuck out to me. It was a good match, but it was a good match. Don't get me wrong, but because of that botch, it really took away from the luster of it, I thought.
Yeah, that botch hurt a lot, and thank God that Christopher Daniels has the experience that he does. A younger guy might have tried to pull that off, and it would have turned out very bad.
Yeah, even worse.
Yeah, way worse. Because he didn't. At the end of the day, Christopher Daniels didn't get hurt from that, so it's fine. A younger guy might have tried to pull off that moonsault.
Right.
And that would have been
where
bad.
you could see Christopher Daniels figuring out, abort mission.
This is not working. But I could see the effects of that pinched nerve throughout the entire match. He was slower than normal. He just seemed out of it.
Absolutely.
And that hurt the match too. Like, I've said this about older guys, and I'm going to say this about, veterans and young guys too. Man, if you're hurt, I know it's hard. Stay home. It's 2019. Your health and well-being is more important than putting on a match for us. All right? That at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And I'd step in a ring again tomorrow if I could. And I didn't quit because of injury. Life happens. But just stay home, man. It's fine. It's fine. Especially when you've had the career that Christopher Daniels has had.
Certainly.
You can go home and chill. Here in about a year, I'm going to be preaching that to Chris Jericho. Go home. Go, because it's time to go.
Well,
I love you all. I'll love Chris Jericho forever. He's my Ric Flair, for lack of a better term.
He's your Undertaker. He's your Hogan. Yeah.
But I don't want to see any of them getting hurt with all they've given to the business because they just want one more. Just give me one more. Just give me one more. I know I never made it big, but I know the addiction of wanting to get back in there. But you can't. At some point, you can't. But I'm not saying Christopher Daniels can't. That's a different conversation. I was saying he needed to take maybe another month.
And relax. Yeah, especially when you consider the fact this isn't coming back for a pay-per-view. You're back on run of the mill. Nothing against Dynamite, but we can survive without you for a few weeks off Dynamite if it means you getting back to looking like the fallen angel should look. So yeah, he rushed it back. I definitely felt the effects. And speaking of rushed, I thought the main event was pretty rushed because something went way over time in my opinion, because there was only about 10 minutes left in the show when Jon Moxley went out to face Joey Janela, who was suplexed off a barn, in case you don't know. Look, I liked it, but again, it felt rushed, and it felt too wrestly for these two, because, Jon Moxley is like the modern-day king of the death match. Joey Janela is known for getting suplexed off a barn, and so it felt too wrestly, and it felt, like I said, 9-8 minutes. It was quick. It wasn't bad. Like, it's good to see Jon Moxley, who JR is hitting it right on the head, and I see what he did there. He's got rattlesnake tendencies, is what JR said as Jon Moxley was coming down. Look, I like Jon Moxley. If I had to pick a favorite in AEW right now, he is it. Like I said, besides Jericho, but I'm talking about if I could kind of claim my own in AEW, if you will, it would be Jon Moxley. But this I felt like it missed the mark. They didn't have enough time, and it felt odd for these two to do what they did after seeing the pretty solid match they had at, I believe it was Fyter Fest.
Fyter Fest, yeah, it was Fyter Fest. So, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you're good, brother.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. It was definitely rushed. I think it could have been much better. But this is what I was talking about when we started the AEW conversation, that this was a training show. Because they don't do the house show circuit, where they can work on all their stuff in a dark match in front of 700 people or however many people go to the dark shows. Right. And you could see it. The pace was slowed down. It wasn't turtle slow, but it was slowed down enough for Janela to learn the basics, because he doesn't know the basics, because he's been independent and doing extreme stuff only to get his name out there. And it says a lot to Janela's passion for the business to go out there and be willing to learn.
Right.
Because you can try to teach anybody anything, but if they're not willing to learn it, it's a waste of time for both people. But they were out there, transitioning normal wrestling holds. It was weird because it's Jon Moxley and Joey Janela, but I really appreciated that I could sit back and say, after about 2 minutes, oh, okay, I see what's going on. And Moxley's showing him how to put together a proper wrestling match.
Which is not something they specialize in. But and lastly on that, credit to Jon Moxley for being the ultimate professional there. A lot of guys would go, I don't want to go teach him on live TV. Yep. I got to get my stuff over. And Jon Moxley obviously left his ego at the door, as you should, unless your name's Hollywood. And so there's serious credit to be given there. Not a bad show of AEW Dynamite. Not a bad show at all. Again, Hogan, Jericho. God, just Jericho.
Can't say enough.
Yeah, just can't say enough. Absolutely. With that, let's go ahead and take our next break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little NXT, a little Monday Night Raw, and then we'll do, of course, the Rumor Rundown. This is Loganity presented by
Mojo Sports Geek.
right here on Score on Air, the next generation of sports
Look at that
talk.
BA Billy Gunn right there.
Talk about it, stud.
The future of broadcasting is evolving, and you can be on the front line. Digital and traditional media jobs are being created daily, and the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School can help you find your next career. With financial aid and job placement assistance available, the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School provides instruction from industry-experienced veterans like me, ready to share their knowledge of the media broadcasting industry. Contact us today at 614-655-5250 or apply online at beonair.com. The Ohio Media School. Media broadcasting training starts here.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School. Do you have a passion for broadcasting, sports, or film production? The Ohio Media School is currently enrolling. For more information, visit beonair.com or give us a call at 614-655-5250. That's 614-655-5250.
Gear, and if you only do half of what we say when we're off the air, woo-hoo, we'd be in trouble.
Dude, the ballgame is completely different when we're off air. Like, allow the records to state.
I think it's just the language that's different. There's not much else that's different.
Yeah, we speak Latin off air.
Yeah, plenty of wrestling jargon. Just absolute wrestling jargon. Let's talk about quickly NXT. Yes, Mauro Ronaldo did make his return to the NXT commentary desk as he rightfully belongs. The greatest of not all time, but of the current time is back and in business, and I'm so thrilled, and I'm glad you're doing better, Mauro. Corey Graves, not happy with you. Anyway, Keith Lee confronted the Undisputed Era. What'd you think of it, my man, Jake?
I mean, what's not to like? It's really not anything. I mean, eventually the Undisputed Era is going to lose all that gold.
Someday.
Oh, that gold.
Someday, baby.
Strong's going to turn face. Yeah, he's going to be the only one.
So you think that the Undisputed Era keeps going without Roderick Strong someday?
I think they just disband altogether eventually.
Disband? Okay,
yeah, I think that at some point, because everyone's got too bad. Because he's not getting the NXT title yet.
Right.
He's going to take the title from Roderick Strong. What happens in these groups when people start losing titles? The first one to lose gets the boot out the door. Yeah. So he's.
They get the old Batista Triple H.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh God, that never gets old, does it, guys?
No.
And Hall of Famer 2020. Anyway, Yeah, I can totally. Do you think we're close to seeing the end?
I don't think so. It's at least 6 months away. I mean, and that's a long time in professional wrestling.
So there's more T-shirts to be sold and gold to get, baby.
And what really made me start really thinking that was I've never seen Kyle O'Reilly talk so much.
Yeah, definitely.
Now they're trying to get him used to cutting promos so they can all kind of go their separate way and become their own stars.
I got you. Yeah, I can, now that you put it that way, I definitely can see where that's coming from. Look, even though our main man over there is not a Keith Lee guy.
No, I don't like Keith Lee. His facials make me very angry. Okay, that came out wrong.
Okay,
so
that's something to discuss with him.
Listen, so in wrestling, you guys know what? What? I meant what I said. His facials annoy me.
His facial expressions.
Yeah, his facial expressions ignore me. Man, I gotta stop surfing the internet late night and then coming in to work the next day. So the thing is,
you're getting paid?
Yeah.
Ohio Media School lab hours. I mean, worth their weight in gold.
Hey, listen.
It gets us the degree. You're not wrong.
Worth their weight in gold.
I just can't take the facial expression. I don't like the facial expressions the guy makes. Cornette would love this guy. Cornette loves the facial expressions.
I don't know. Cornette's kind of hateful. I don't think he would like it.
No,
He's way too athletic and big.
No, and that's why Cornette would love him.
That's why he would hate him.
That's why Cornette would love him.
Also, based on recent comments, maybe his tone isn't quite the complexion that Corny would like.
No way! Get the hell out of here! Cornette went so far as to but his bestest friend in the whole world is D'Lo Brown.
I mean,
testify. Look, that's just
not Devon. I said D'Lo. Damn it.
So, just look. Well, you're looking with the real deal now. Look.
Turn my camera on, guys. We can see what just happened.
What is that?
That's the D'Lo Brown neck movements, guys.
Can I get that one more time?
Sure. You got it. Let me fix my hat.
You got to go like that. You got to go like this.
So I'm just gonna come out like this. You gotta move your head.
You're not
like
even
this.
on camera, but it's fine.
You're good. We're good.
Whatever.
We're good.
No, now they'll see it. Arm's gonna come out like this. You're gonna come out like this, little D'Lo Brown action. Why is his neck so loose?
That sounded like just like the theme music, didn't it?
Oh my God.
You're working with the real deal now.
There it is again.
It's Loganity. So you guys know that.
Look, I love seeing the HBIC. I just, and that theme song, see, that's a big league.
Hit the move again, Logan. Logan got the moves.
Hit him with that on the HBIC. I'm hot every day.
Uh-oh.
And look, this is Loganity, and look, I'm what's causing all this.
Oh, by the God.
A 60-minute man was great. How's 2 hours of Loganity every Tuesday? You catch that right there? Why once a week? Because you got to heal. So that's how that
Hold on, this is my serious face.
This is serious, brother. This is serious.
What is wrong with these guys? Why am I in the room with you guys? I don't understand.
Hey, you walked in here.
That's what she said.
Dakota Kai and then Rhea Ripley is going to. She got beat down, but here's the key. She's going to receive her title shot from Shayna 2-time. And I'm so excited about that because I'd like to point out, folks, that if this happens, I was right. I called it months ago. I said Rhea Ripley is going to be the person to take title over because underneath all that is the kind of blondes that Triple H and Vince McMahon like. And so, given her great.
Wow, Triple H got pulled into that blonde talk.
Look, he's been under the wing so long. He's kind of buying into it. You know it, and I know it. And so here's how this works. Because if you don't believe me, he gets pulled into it. I got one name for you, Eva Marie. That's there you go. How's that?
Wow.
How's that? Look, I'm so excited about that because I'm going to call it. I think Rhea Ripley, I don't know when, but she is obviously the person to defeat Shayna 2-time. What'd you think of it quickly?
So, I mean, we'll start from the end and we'll go to the beginning this time. We'll go a little crazy. I cannot wait to see Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler. They are going to destroy each other because the one thing that Shayna Baszler has brought to wrestling, and Matt Riddle as well, and Kyle O'Reilly, a lot of these MMA guys that went through the independents and did everything the right way have really brought realism to the product because they're so good at making the contact that they make look legit.
Absolutely.
Because they spent years legitimately punching people in the face. But I was kind of confused.
Why is that?
It was a match, but then it wasn't because the ref was still out there and they were doing stuff in the ring that would allude to this being a match. And then they just kind of left. Well, and then Baszler came out and beat up Ripley. It was disjointed. It didn't make sense to me. Like, why did you come out and say, I'm not wrestling you, Mia Yim's wrestling you? But there was no count out. There was no nothing. It was total.
It was just a brawl.
Yeah, it was just a brawl. Why'd the referee stay out there?
It was a real brawl for all, if you will.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I like what you did there, Logan.
That's what they usually say afterwards. Yep. Yeah. So anyway,
it sounds as astounded as I did because I like what you did there.
That's what they usually say when I have those quick-witted moments. What do you think I meant?
I don't know.
Oh,
what just happened?
Yeah, that's what she said. Jump that in here.
Yes. Tommaso Ciampa and Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic defeated the Undisputed Era. What'd you think of the match?
I mean, I thought it was a really creative how they pulled off that choke slam stunner combo that Dijakovic did. That was really cool.
It looked like they couldn't decide who to pay tribute to, Undertaker or Stone Cold.
Yeah, I rewind it a couple times too. Like, did that just really happen?
It looked like they couldn't decide who to pay tribute to, Undertaker or Stone Cold, and they said, you know what? Hell with it. We'll do them both.
You're doing both. Enough. You can do both. It's fine.
We'll do both. Why not? You easy there. I hear you already. So yeah, I enjoyed the match. Absolutely. Again, I want the Undisputed Era to last as long as humanly possible because they're besides the Inner Circle, and I'm going to say it. The Undisputed Era is the best heel faction in wrestling today.
That's hands down, and you guys know how much I love Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I love the Undisputed Era. Absolutely. William Regal. That's right. The at this point the only GM in wrestling. I used to say the best. Now he's kind of it. William Regal announced Keith Lee will face Tommaso Ciampa and Finn Balor, my main man Finn Balor. He's the reason you ought to come on back to NXT Styles. And in a triple threat next week. That's right, this week now. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
Not live on USA Network. That's right. How's that for a
plug it in.
Hey, inappropriate. To determine the number one contender for the NXT Championship, and that will face Adam Cole next week.
Baby.
For all the gold. I don't know who we're throwing up the deuce scoop to, but all right. I got you. But yeah, what do you think of it?
I mean, I thought it was really. those three together is money all day long. That match is going to be sweet. Did you notice that how sneaky good that run-in was by Finn Balor?
Yes.
How it was like all the pieces were perfect. Dijakovic took that really sweet spot on the steps, and like everybody's kind of doing their thing. Then all of a sudden, Finn Balor comes out. Like it's one of the smoothest run-ins I've ever seen because you couldn't see it coming. The thing that they didn't all stop.
Yeah.
They were still out there working when Finn Balor came out, and then Keith Lee. Hold on, can I do it?
Go ahead there, brother.
Let's see.
Get off your knees. What's happening over there?
This was Keith Lee. Balor.
It was fantastic, and this Finn Balor is the best Finn Balor, people. And if you don't believe me, then you must not be watching NXT every Wednesday. Styles, brother, tune in. I guarantee you're going to be hooked like Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob.
I don't mind NXT.
You can get into NXT.
I can't get into AEW, but I love NXT.
Well,
I watch a lot of NXT from the beginning stages until now. And what I can say is that guys who make it to the main roster from NXT truly do deserve it. Never seen someone there that didn't deserve it except for at the Survivor Series, but that's another show.
But look, here's the thing, because none of us take Wednesdays off here. You don't have to watch both, but there's a rule in the Loganity Code. We can't take Wednesdays off, boys. You must tune into the Wednesday Night War. With that, let's talk about the real war. That's right, the Catheter War, Monday Night Raw. What many highlights to talk about here?
And all this typing for nothing?
Look.
No, it's a lot of typing, but it's for a lot of something. I tell you what.
So the big,
my girlfriend loves when I do that.
The show kicked off. I'm going to go the right order here. The show kicked off with Lana and Rusev getting a divorce. By the way, who the hell made Jerry the King Lawler a judge? That's the poison the Hall of Fame's going to get. It's the slow killing kind. Yeah.
I mean, it would really hurt if this woman decided to divorce me. That would hurt me a lot.
Oh, that would hurt me. That would hurt me. She can hurt me in all the right places.
Even in storyline, it would hurt.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. What happened, Logan?
Well, you know. Here's a joke for you. The reason the divorce is so expensive, right? They're worth it. That's what happened. It got all crazy with the restraining order. And again, why does Lana only break out the accent when she says Rusev? Rusev Machka. Rusev Machka. So absolutely, look. It is what it is. It's as corny as a drive in this state, no doubt. Absolutely it is. I don't hate it, though. But let's get to the let's not get to the real main event of Raw. Actually, I want to take a quick second and talk about the fact that Sami Zayn now has a managerial license.
Which works for him. It works for him.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was in the process of getting one. I didn't know that it's that easy. And now he aligns with
I didn't even know they needed licenses.
Me neither.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
We learned all kinds of things.
So did the guy who was working with Lashley? Did he have one of those? My man, what was his name?
Leo Rush?
Yes, I'm assuming he got. I don't know.
Just good pals. You know, if you know the right people, you don't.
Can we talk about what a great person like Sami Zayn really is? Because we all saw that video over the weekend. We're not going to go into details, folks, but you know what we're talking about. Double thumbs up, Sami Zayn. You are a phenomenal human being.
And to the fan that is clearly an ignorant fool, number one, it's 2019. Number two, you're at a WWE event which has got tons of children. I hope you just got carried away, but if that's honestly how you feel, I hope you can't reproduce.
I hope he's not allowed to ever attend another show again.
What did I miss?
The only way that because this happens a lot in pro wrestling, it's the only way these jackasses are going to learn.
Yeah,
Wait, so what did I miss?
We can't say it.
PG-13 enough. You guys have to PG it up.
Delicate. We'll tell you when the show.
Oh, yeah, we'll do off everything.
But I hope you can't reproduce her, just because that gene pool needs to die. That's just my personal thoughts on that situation. Yeah, Sami Zayn, rock star guy, and then again, the only thing about this is yes, Mojo needs something, but Mojo's never been a bad promo.
Not really, but I was kind of like,
Mojo needs some new sports gear.
I'm a little worried though after the segment that's all Mojo's going to get used for. It was an excuse to get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in the ring together.
I think so too.
Which is a disservice to Mojo because if he could have a feud with Kevin Owens, how much would that man learn?
He would learn more than I did in high school math.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but he's safe enough to have a match with Kevin Owens, and that's the thing. Who has he been in the ring with?
I think that's why
you get the bumper up. You don't just throw him in there with Owens right then and there. He has to work his way up.
A while, but that's why
who has he worked with? Who has he worked with?
I personally think that he could get it done because I trust Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens is a good ring general. I would trust. Here's how much I trust Kevin Owens. I would trust Kevin Owens to get a safe match out of the Undertaker at this stage.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. Oh yes.
Because Kevin Owens is that good.
Oh, I trust Kevin Owens to powerbomb me off the turnbuckle through a table.
You call me Mae Young, put me through it. Go ahead.
For sure. I'd love to get in the ring for any reason, but there's only like 5 dudes that I really trust to do that.
Completely, yes, absolutely. Before we get to again the main event, Rey Mysterio faced AJ Styles, and look, I'm all for the farewell tour, but if this is just to give him the belt for the farewell tour, stop it. Take it off him now. Rey Mysterio is a household name, no doubt, absolutely. Greatest high flyer in history, no question. No question at all. But AJ Styles, when it comes to 2019, Rey Mysterio, you couldn't lace his boots. And so AJ Styles should be the top guy on Raw when Brock Lesnar is not paid enough to come show up for that particular Christmas time pay-per-view. Absolutely. Look, nothing against Rey Mysterio, but Kurt Angle has had a way bigger career than Rey Mysterio, in my opinion, and he didn't get a belt for his farewell tour.
Indeed.
I just personally think that it's a disservice to say that this guy's a champion in 2019. To quote my dear friend Jim Cornette on somebody I love near and dear, Rey Mysterio, you are a household word, but so is garbage, and it stinks when it gets old, too.
Wow. Also, I know you said we're going to move towards the...
That was the main event.
Towards the... Yeah, I know, right?
The main event, well, technically, yes, was that, but the highlight, the real let's talk about it, which is why we still have about 3 minutes to talk about it, is Seth aligning. Seth is finally, goodbye, Mr. Burn It Down. That's been burned down.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Thanks for asking.
Thank you for asking. I do appreciate that.
Such a kind sir.
Look, that's what we're all about here at Loganity, kindness. Kindness and being appropriate at all times. Look, here's the deal. Seth aligned with the AOP, and here I thought he did it in a funny way, though. He said, I was never aligned with the AOP, but pretty much since you think I'm aligned with the AOP, fine, I'll align with the AOP.
And then guess what he did? Aligned with the AOP.
That stomp was ridiculous looking.
Bro, the selling of it alone was like, yes, do it again, Rollins, because we sat right here and we watched it over and over and over, bro.
If you keep saying do it again, Rollins, Becky Lynch is going to give you a call.
Becky Lynch might have something to say about it.
And can I say thank you for keeping her out of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank God.
I feel like she should be.
Realized the backlash and they said we're not going to talk about this on air anymore. It's their personal lives and the fans don't care.
Yeah, and for once, I'll give credit to Vince here because sometimes Roman Reigns, John Cena, he doesn't care if we give him backlash. Other times, thank God, he will hear us and take it off. Matter of fact, here's a fun fact: we would have seen likely Undertaker versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania 32. Had it not been for backlash of the online, that was the heavy rumor at WrestleMania 32. It was going to be Taker versus Strowman, and Strowman was as green as fresh broccoli at that point, and then got backlash, and so we saw the quick makeshift Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. But my point to that story is not to put Taker over, although I'm happy to do that. It's to say that it's weird how Vince sometimes goes, "Yeah, I hear you," and then other times he will go, "I don't give a damn what you people want."
I feel like he says that more than sometimes.
He says it all the time.
He says it a lot. That's what.
Probably his employees too.
He tells his kids that.
So before we get to the rundown,
that's for sure.
No main event, Logan. We cannot skip through that.
What?
We cannot skip past this right here, buddy.
Oh, brother.
It was a table spot.
That match because apparently even though Charlotte and Becky are about to team at TLC for we're not going to have them actually team to get fresh for it or anything like that. Yes, it was a pretty cool table spot and then it did DQ, not to hurt anybody. Nice to see Becky Lynch on Raw. She hadn't been on in 2 weeks.
She's had a nice little vacation.
Yeah,
and I'm like, for starters, when Lesnar can't be bothered, why are we keeping her off for 2 weeks? This is ridiculous. Plus, she's easy on the eyes, folks. Even my girlfriend goes, yeah.
I mean, beat the crap out of you face is super hot, honestly.
Even the beat the crap out of me face goes, that makes me go, yeah, you can beat me anytime.
Oscar's got a better. Oscar's got a hotter, I'll beat the crap out of you.
First of all, no, she doesn't. Yeah. No one is hotter than the redhead. You cut it out.
Wow. I said the expression, sir. Relax. And yes, I love Becky Lynch, but this is a conversation for another time. We're running out of time.
Absolutely. So, lastly, what'd you think of Seth turning heel? Quick.
It's about time. I kind of thought it was funny. He sounded like the dumped boyfriend in that promo.
Fine. Yeah, he sounded a little Dolph Ziggler-esque with the whole "it should be," I give my all to you people, and you. Okay, thanks.
And it was nice they brought in some realism because he's gotten a lot of backlash on the internet.
He sure has.
And I feel like he really meant some of those things he was saying. You could, especially with Seth Rollins, you can tell in his delivery when it's like, really, you want me to say this, and then they give him something that he can really sink his teeth into.
The promos with a dollop of realism are the better ones. Don't believe me? Go watch Stone Cold and ECW. The reason those work so well is because that was real intense heat he felt towards old Hollywood, and so that's fine. That's fine. Some people are for life. Some people are two-time Hall of Famers. Other people are not. I don't know why I just dissed Stone Cold like that.
I know. Why would you do that?
I did. And I love Stone Cold. Is he going to be a two-time Hall of Famer? No, because he couldn't trust anybody. So that's tough.
Okay, so that's fair. That's fair.
The microphone got turned down. Oh!
That's a shame.
All right.
That's a shame.
You know what time it is.
It's hey, DTA.
Hey.
It's time for the rumor rundown. As always, people, if you haven't watched before, and look, we love best in the world. That's who we are. Anyway, no DQ equals true, and DQ, of course, equals false. These are the rumors that I found throughout the week, because it wasn't a heavy rumor week.
It really
actually.
Wasn't.
So I had to really dig.
Dig it out.
I could tell.
I had to dig. Kane, who has been on a book tour.
This guy came.
That guy. That same mayor. Did you know he's going to be the mayor of a county someday?
No,
He did flirt with the idea of running for president in '99.
Oh, so did Lawler. Did you guys know that Lawler wanted to be the mayor of somewhere?
Memphis, probably.
Memphis. It was Memphis. So someone had to talk him out of it.
He lost because he's terrible.
So, terrible person.
Right, I'm not knocking his abilities in the ring
as far as
from
Memphis
20
goes,
years ago. But
50.
Hey, easy on the king. All right. Kane will have another run in WWE. The reason I bring this up is because he said that no one's ever truly retired from wrestling, or WWE, I should say. They wouldn't say wrestling. And he said that he wants one more run with the Brothers of Destruction, one more match with The Undertaker as his partner. So, Kane will have another run in WWE. And I don't mean just a quick pop in for the 24/7. I mean, will Kane, not that Kane, but the current Kane when he's actually Kane, will he have one more somewhat run in WWE? DQ, no DQ, give it to me.
I think I'm going to DQ that, and part of this is lack of knowledge. I don't know what the rules are when you're a mayor. Like, can you really go out and make extra money on the side? Like, they're pretty stringent on things when you're in political office.
Yeah, but he can donate the money to charity. The money is not the point. Do you think that even if the money beside the money, do you think he would do it?
I know he wants to get back in there, but that's not the question.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are for Knox County Mayor to go step in a wrestling ring, because I've heard of teachers getting in trouble for wrestling on the weekends. So would it hurt his political aspirations to do that?
To put it in perspective, he was already in office when he wrestled at Crown Jewel.
That's fair. Okay.
So,
that's right.
And also, the last time we seen this guy, this is what he looked like. So, I mean, hey, he could have another run.
That's well done, brother.
That was well done.
The last time we seen him, this is what we looked at. So, guys, I mean, it's an option, guys.
Absolutely. And I personally hope for another Brothers of Destruction match because it works well with Taker. It gives me that pop without him having to work too hard. So, I'm going to go ahead and give that the old no DQ because I just won it. Thanks. How about you, Styles? DQ, no DQ?
I'm going to say no DQ, man. It's a possibility. Anything's possible when you're a possible, man.
Number 2, there are more releases coming from WWE before Mania. Now, why I ask this question is because a slew of guys got released and cut loose out of nowhere. Sin Cara, Luke Harper, The Ascension, might have been a couple more, but those are the biggies. Ones. And so, DQ, no DQ, more coming before WrestleMania.
I'm going to no DQ that. They always make some cuts. Like, when the floodgates kind of open when they start releasing people.
Absolutely, I agree. How about you, Styles?
I mean, there's people who need to go, but I also believe, they will cut some more people before Mania. It's budget time. You know how it goes. So also, Pyro is back. Yeah, some people are getting cut. Pyro is back, guys.
So yeah, we're all gonna no DQ that look because apparently they've had a change of heart. So I think some of that dead weight is finally going to get cut because it used to be, well, we're not going to let anyone go anywhere. Now apparently Vince goes, hell with it, I'm tired of paying them. All right, and here's an odd one for you. I saw Nikki Bella the other day said that she wants her prayer is to get cleared and wrestle again for WWE, kind of a one more final send-off match. So, Nikki Bella will wrestle again for WWE. DQ, no DQ. McCarthy gives
I'll no DQ that. She'll get in that ring again. Yeah, with the caveat is if she's cleared.
I'm going to DQ it. I don't think she'll be cleared, and I'm not sure there's a place for her right now because look, we got Trish Stratus when you want to have that throwback match. We have Lita when you want to have that throwback match. Nikki Bella is kind of a victim of her time. She's in between Charlotte. She's in between Trish. I think you had your run. Evolution's the perfect way to go out. Ronda Rousey, you headlined the first women's pay-per-view. That's as good as someone like Nikki Bella could ask for, given the limitations she obviously has. She's a product of a bygone era.
But man, I miss seeing her on Monday Night Raw.
I don't.
You can look, but you can't touch.
They've gotten way hotter since her. I actually enjoy Carmella. Looking at Carmella way more than that. And I'm just an average male in America.
All right.
Meanwhile, back in the ranch.
Well, maybe John Cena or Corey Graves agrees with you. I don't know. So, anyway, how about you, Styles? Give me the DQ.
Don't really care.
All right, gotcha.
Fair enough, man.
Lastly here, the biggest name to go out of all these cut names, and I think, can we all agree it was Luke Harper?
Oh, for sure.
So quickly, I'm talking about one or two words. What company would best benefit from having Luke Harper?
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay, how about you, Styles? What company would best benefit?
Put them on AEW. Just take them. Why not?
I think Ring of Honor would best benefit from having Luke Harper.
I didn't even think of Ring of Honor.
I think AEW is already having some of that lost in the shuffle feel. Ring of Honor needs somebody with some mainstream feel now that AEW does exist. I'd like to see Luke Harper in the syndicated slot, Ring of Honor. With that,
I think he'd do a lot for New Japan.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Ring of Honor, New Japan, some sort of par up there would be great. With that, this has been Loganity. This has been Off the Wall. We have gone through the wall even, folks. This is absolutely. As always, I got to thank my two esteemed, great co-hosts.
We're esteemed. Hey, buddy. We're esteemed.
channel next week, 4 to 6. Score on air. Next generation of sports talk. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
It's Tuesday here on ScoreOnAir.com.
Oh, wait.
And we don't know what it is.
What you gonna do, brother?
We can't really explain it. We can't really tell you what it is.
Watch it. He looks fired up here. This is gonna be fun to watch.
All we know, it's Loganity. And it starts now.
Got him up in her hand. Come on. Oh no, that glass table. Think about what the damage the glass can do. Oh my God. They just crushed him right through the glass. 1, 2, 3.
The future of broadcasting is evolving, and you can be on the front line. Digital and traditional media jobs are being created daily, and the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School can help you find your next career. With financial aid and job placement assistance available, the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School provides instruction from industry-experienced veterans like me, ready to share their knowledge of the media broadcasting industry. Contact us today at 614-655-5250 or apply online at beonair.com.